Welcome to part 2 of our post-production video series, where we'll talk about working with proxies. Premiere offers a simple method of creating and working with proxies of the footage you've imported. And very importantly, you can very easily relink to the original footage with a simple click. While it's possible to create proxies automatically when importing footage using the media browser, it's easier to import footage using the drag and drop method mentioned earlier, so we won't cover this particular process. So let's go back to the point of having just dragged our footage into the bin. To create proxies, we select all the footage we have, right-click it, and click Proxy, Create Proxies. This brings up the Create Proxies window where you can select Format and Resolution. We recommend QuickTime and ProRes 422 proxy in a resolution that divides equally into the original resolution, like 1280 by 720, which is exactly 1/3 the 3840 by 2160 source material we're working with here. If the resolutions feel limited, you can create manual presets by using Adobe Media Encoder and import them here by clicking Add Ingest Preset. You can find more info on that in the Premiere Help Manual. Otherwise, choose the location for your proxies, either next to the original media in a proxy folder or perhaps in a folder on a portable USB editing drive. Press OK, and Adobe Media Encoder will start up and begin encoding. If it's a big job, you can even save and quit Premiere and allow Media Encoder to work on its own. When Media Encoder is finished, return to Premiere, and the proxies should now be linked automatically. If you're still seeing high-resolution material, make sure Enable Proxies is checked in the media preferences. When you're finished editing and want to relink to the original media, you can simply uncheck this option. The advantage to working with proxies in this way is that all your sequence and resolution settings can stay the same as if you're not working with proxies. Premiere will automatically treat the proxy footage as if it's the original resolution, so scale percentages in the Motion tab will stay the same, and you can essentially forget that there's a difference in resolution while editing. Sometimes you may want to create proxy files outside of Premiere, or use proxies that have already been created, for example by an onset DIT. To do this, it's important that the resolution of the proxies always divides equally into the original footage resolution, for example, by 1/2, 1/3, or 1/4. For a 4096 by 2164K file, the proxy resolution could be 2048 by 1080 or 1024 by 540. Let's talk about creating proxies in a third-party app we like to use called Edit Ready. This software is simple, affordable, and offers many features and good codec compatibility, and most important, is fast at rendering, even faster than Adobe Media Encoder. It's a great tool for creating proxies on set. We start by dragging all the clips from the media into the left pane. On the right pane, we choose Output Codec, Output Folder, and File Name. It should stay the same as the original. We recommend ProRes Proxy or ProRes LT for lightweight file sizes. Next, we open the additional options where we can choose to change the resolution size and even add a baked-in LUT, which would allow us to skip the LUT application steps we will discuss next. In this case, all your proxy footage would include the LUT and be visible while editing, while allowing you to start with a clean slate from the raw material afterwards in color grading. For now, we will just change resolution size by selecting Frame Resize. That brings up resolution size settings on the right pane, and we'll choose 1920 by 1080, which is exactly half the original 4K UHD resolution. We press Convert All, and the render begins. When all the proxies are rendered, back in Premiere, we can associate the original media files with the proxies of the same name. To do this, we select all the media in the bin and right-click and choose Proxy, Attach Proxies, and navigate to the folder where you've made your proxies with Edit Ready. Select the matching clip for the first one Premiere is asking for you to find, and Premiere will automatically link the rest. From there, you can edit as normal. That's all for part 2. Check out the next video for part 3.